This is the plaintiff, Bruce Moyer. He says he rented a room from the defendant, and not 2 days later he was kicked out with no place to go. He's still, to this day, confused as to why the defendant wouldn't honor the contract they made just days earlier. Consequently, he feels he's owed the rent he paid for the time he ended up not living there, and is suing for the return of $1,120.13, the amount owed. This is the defendant, Nick Mitten. He says he's been renting out rooms for 18 years and has never come across a bloke like the plaintiff. The guy came home on the second night of his tenancy and claimed another roommate attacked him. When he asked the plaintiff if he'd been drinking, the plaintiff's reply was, "What does that have to do with anything?" He thought it would be better to part ways then and there. They did, and that was that. Owe him money? No way. He's accused of premature eviction.
Litigant have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Bruce Moyer, you are suing Nick Mitten, your former landlord, for wrongful eviction and retaining your security deposit. You're asking for $1,120.13, which also includes a double penalty under Connecticut law and 3 nights in a hotel room. Tell me what's going on between you two.
Yeah, what happened was on June 10th, I answered an ad in the local paper about a room for rent and actually got his mom, and she eventually steered me to see Nick and that particular property. And it's a nice property, and I decided I wanted to take it, so I signed a lease with him, with Nick, which he never gave me a copy of. I don't understand that.
I don't understand why you signed something without having a copy.
Yeah.
What, do you have a copy of the lease?
Yes, Your Honor.
May I have it?
I think you'll find some interesting stipulations on that.
How do you know? You don't have a copy of it.
Well, I just recall when I did sign it, I did read it.
Okay, well, that's good. So this is a weekly rental.
That's correct. Yeah, it was
All right.
160.
And there was a 160 per week and 320 security deposit.
2-week deposit. Yes,
Okay.
That's correct.
So what happens?
And then the second night I came home, and I had been locked out from the common space, not the. I have a diagram that you can look at if you like as well. The front door is a locked door that we have keys to, but there's another door that someone had installed. I'm assuming John had installed a hook and ring lock on the inside of the door. And when I noticed that the night before, I just took a moment and I noticed a bobby pin on the kitchen sink, and I put that in the ring, hoping he'd realize, hey, my roommate's out, don't put the lock in.
So this I-hook door stops you from being able to go to your own room?
That is correct.
All right, and you had noticed this the night before?
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that I thought that was a strange place for a lock.
Okay, why don't you just speak to the person and say, hey, don't lock it, I'll be out tomorrow?
Well, I just hadn't had the opportunity.
So you stuck a bobby pin in it?
That's right.
Because you thought that screamed, don't lock me, there's a...
Well, I don't think it screams, but I don't think it takes a lot of intellect to figure out what's going on.
I got to be honest with you. A note would be a lot more direct than the bobby pin in the hole. Anyway, so what ends up happening?
Yeah, I apologize. I just moved in. I only had a few things there, not even paper and pen.
All right, so what happened?
So I tried to contact...
you get home.
Yeah, I got home, and it's locked. So I noticed that the roommate's truck is there.
So the roommate should be there.
Correct.
I guess.
Yes, exactly. That's what I assumed.
Right.
So I knocked on the door, no answer. Knocked on some windows, no answer. I even kind of shook the truck, hoping there was an alarm. Maybe the guy would come out, but no alarm. So knowing what lock it was, I just went back in and gave it a tug and went in. And
wait, went back in, gave it a tug. That interior door with the hook.
That's correct.
You just shoved it open.
Just pulled on it. That's right.
Okay. Did you break the door?
No. Just the hook.
Are you the roommate? Okay. So go on.
Yeah. So I go in, I get changed, start making some dinner, and that's when John came flying up the stairs from his apartment, screaming and kind of out of control.
What was he saying?
He was saying, "What are you doing in here? How did you get in?" And I said, well,
but I don't understand. You're renting that place,
yeah,
right?
I know. Well, Judge, this is what perplexes me.
Okay.
The whole thing is shocking still to this day.
Okay.
So he's screaming at me, trying to start a fight with me, bumping chests. That I can't be in there. He locked the door. Would you break the door? And he really wasn't saying anything that made a lot of sense to me. He was really raving. He really was, at that point, I think, unhinged. So,
But why was he unhinged?
well, I can't answer
Well,
that.
he's going to give me his version. Do you
You're
want to
right.
give me yours, or should I just go straight to his?
Right.
Come on up. What happened?
Your Honor. The situation being is this. I did not hear him knock. The common lock that we use, okay, first off, a bobby pin, I agree. I don't know. I've been living there 5 years. It's a common lock to keep because he rents the upstairs out. So it just keeps the upstairs from coming into our kitchen and our apartments.
Another tenant.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Does he have his own kitchen?
No, he and I share the same kitchen.
Okay, so it stops him from coming into his kitchen.
That's right.
I'm not talking to you.
No. It stops the upstairs people
Oh,
from
other
coming.
people from
So
coming
at
into
night,
your kitchen.
we-
Wait, but apparently it stops him too because he couldn't get in.
Right, but let me explain. As I walked out, okay, because late at night we locked that, and not knowing what a bobby pin meant, I just locked it and went to bed, okay?
What time did you go to bed?
10 o'clock.
Did you check to see if he was in?
No,
Because you're locking that stops him from being able to go
Right,
to his
well-
own apartment that he's paying rent for.
Right. Well, if
Well,
I
then,
can
right,
continue.
why is that okay?
Well, it's not okay.
Okay.
So after the knocking, he finally gets in, and
Now, what do you mean after the knocking? You hear him knocking and you don't open?
No, that's what he told me. I was on headset. I had taken a shower. I play music.
What the heck? But first you lock him out, and then you put headsets on so you can't hear him if he
I
knocks?
had no idea that he was gone.
Well, why don't you check before you lock? If
Well,
you knocked on his door,
he
there's
has
not
no
like a
car.
hologram of him in his room.
Okay, fair. He had no car. Okay, so I didn't know.
Well, then don't
if I
lock
can
it.
continue, let me. So when I realized what had happened, I apologized I came out. What he's saying about this, I came out of a blue. No, I finally had heard some noise, took my headset off, heard some noise in the kitchen after he broke the door down, which was fine. And then I apologized because I realized he was gone. And I said, Bruce, I'm sorry. It fell on me. I apologized 2 times. I said, Bruce, I am sorry. Then I started to explain to him why we locked that door. Because he goes, and personally between you and I, he had been drinking. And when I tried to explain to him...
I don't know that it's personally between you and I because we're in a courtroom.
Well, personally between all of us.
Okay.
I started to explain to him why we locked the door. At which point, he starts throws his chest out at me, butts into me, and he goes, I'm not afraid of you. This is after I apologized twice for not looking over and seeing if he had... Okay. Bumps me. I'm not afraid of you. I go back into my apartment. All of a sudden, my apartment door opens up, and it's him.
Oh, he's hallucinating.
Stop.
It's him. I come out of my apartment, and I bump into him, and I bump him right into the cabinets. And I explain to him, I've been here 5 years. I'm trying to explain to you how the house works. I apologize to you readily that I made a mistake. But first off, don't butt me. You're drunk. I'm trying to be, I had offered him, you want to use the pans, whatever you want to do. My pans? No, nothing. So that's when I came in. He opens my door, basically into my apartment. I come out, I bump him, and I go, no, don't you ever do that again? And then game was on.
All right, so when do you get involved, and how does this happen? You're just the lucky recipient of the childish behavior. Tell me.
I called Nick.
Talk to
It
me.
was Saturday, June 12th. It was my birthday, so I remember it like it was,
My birthday.
Yeah. So he calls me up. It's about 11 o'clock, and he's yelling and screaming. I'm afraid to live here. I don't want to be here. Tom's threatening me. And I
Stop
said...
jingling the change in your pocket, please.
Oh,
I
I'm
know
sorry.
I know it's a nervous habit, but
So I drive down there, and I asked Tom what's going on. And he went nuts on him. He went into his room, and he told me how he had locked him out by accident. He said, I heard his TV on, so I thought he was home. So I did the latch, like he's been doing for the last 5 years.
Did you leave your TV on?
No, I did
Yes,
not,
it
Your
was.
Honor.
Absolutely.
Okay, go on.
No.
So I go in there, and the first thing I said to Bruce was, have you been drinking? And he says, what does that have to do with anything? I says, because you're totally acting different than when I interviewed you 2 days ago to rent this.
Wait, he's acting different according to what your tenant tells you?
No,
or he's
the
acting
way
different?
he's acting to me.
Because what?
Because
What
he's
is he-
telling, because he's telling me, you don't like me here, Tom don't like me. And I said, I just met you 2 days ago. I said, I just got done putting $1,200 into the apartment. I'm glad to finally get it rented out. And now I come there and I ask him if he's drinking. He says, what does that have to do with anything? And I could tell that there was something going on with him. And he goes, if you don't want me here, I don't want to be here. And so I said, yeah, I don't want you to be here. And he gave me the keys. After he gave me the keys, he called his mother. His mother came with some black trash bags, and I was helping her and him put the stuff in the bags and bring him out to his car. At that point, I went out to my car, got my receipt book, wrote a receipt for $320, gave the receipt and the money to his mother because his mother's...
Wait, what do you mean you wrote so she signed it?
No, I signed it.
What good does that do? You got to have acknowledgement by the other side taking the money.
All right.
According
I realize that now. Okay. But I've always signed receipts.
No, I know, because usually you're accepting the
Right.
money.
Right. I hear you.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so
But
how
for a
much did
couple
you pay
months-
the mom, according to you?
$320.
Did he give your mom $320?
Absolutely lie. I have a statement from my mother notarized
Let me
about
see.
the phone call that he did make.
Let me see.
And what they've both said are complete lies. I'd like to do a polygraph if they'd be willing to.
You're looking at the polygraph machine.
Okay, Your Honor.
Just hand me-
All right. I appreciate
hand me
that.
your mother's affidavit. Tell me
Yeah.
about you. I want to hear your version
Of
of the
course.
discussion with your landlord. How did that
Of course.
happen?
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. If a tenant gets really unruly over time because he keeps getting drunk, can a landlord evict him?
Yes.
Why do you say, would you agree?
I agree.
Why?
Because if there's other tenants in the apartment block, you don't want loud,
But
unruly
people
voices.
play stereos too loud. They do all sorts of things. It's part of apartment living.
Yeah, I don't agree. I reckon he should be able to stay. People play music and have parties all the time. Just because he's drunk doesn't mean he should. Look, people do that when they're sober as well.
You
So
sound very pro-drinking.
I'm very pro-drinking.
Going inside the courtroom.
I never went to this guy's room, never went into his room, and I didn't attack him. He was screaming at me. So that's when I called Nick, and Nick did come straight over. He immediately just said that for the 4 years he's been here, he's had no problems, and I have to be the problem.
Okay.
And you should go, were his words, quote, you
Well,
should go.
you sort of accept that you said to him, yeah, you know, which makes sense as a landlord. The last thing you want is to have these guys fighting on your property, somebody gets hurt, and then you get sued, and you don't want that problem.
Right.
But if you tell him, yeah, I think it's best if you go, which I totally understand, because put your hand down, because if I'm going to pick, I'm not going to pick the jingling change guy. I'm not going to pick the guy who's been there 48 hours and has a problem. I'm going to pick the guy who's paid his rent for 4 years, okay? Right. So I understand that. But that being the case, then why won't you return his money? Is your version that you returned the money to the mom?
Yeah. When his mom came there, I felt bad for her more than anything because she said that he's not supposed to be drinking, and this isn't the first time that this has happened. After he moved out and I helped him carry the bags and gave the mother the money, I went back home. It was about 12:15. I got 3 phone calls from him threatening me over the phone. And at that time, I looked...
Saying what?
Saying, you owe me money. I really didn't want to move, all this.
But turn
all right?
around, don't talk to him. Where do you think you are? Some gutter? Go ahead.
So he called me 3 times. I called his mother. I looked up the application. I called his mother because I thought he was calling from his mother's house. And I asked him, I says, can you have him stop calling me? She goes, I dropped him off at a hotel. Just ignore him. This has happened before when he's not supposed to be drinking, and just ignore his phone calls. But I look at the 160 as it cost me another $92 to put an ad in the paper. He moved the furniture around the apartment. He was only there 1 day, so there wasn't much mess, but he had a new TV, he left the box there. So I look at it, the 160 as that part.
That's fine, except for you can't prove the 320. You can't prove the other amount that you say you paid her. And it makes me very nervous, you know? Is there any witness to you paying the mother? Anybody? No. Not him. He's standing right there. I mean, come on. So, no, you can't get away with saying I already paid $320. And as far as the rent money is concerned for the rest of the week, I think you're entitled to keep 2 days' rent. You're not entitled to keep it after that, because I think it's very clear from what I've heard that, in fact, you're the one who asked him to leave with, you know, pretty good reason, but not enough to keep his rent. So I'm going to order you to return the $320, which is the remaining 2 weeks. I'm going to order you to return $114, which is the 5 days of that week, for a net judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $434. He does not have to pay your 3 nights hotel room. He does not have to pay a double penalty clause, because he thinks this is not a situation where I would order that. $434, verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Well, so the plaintiff has collected here, not everything, but step on in here. What's your reaction to the outcome?
It's fair. Yep.
Are you glad to be rid of this gentleman?
Absolutely, and I attacked nobody. He attacked me first.
Well, could you have gotten along with him if he had stayed in the place?
No, he's an alcoholic.
Okay, right down this way, all right? Thank you. All right, step on in here. You satisfied with what you got out of this?
Yes, I definitely am. I'm just glad to see that, people can't get away with ripping people off.
Did you have a fundamental difference of opinion with that dude over there?
I don't even know those two guys. I had just got the place 2 days
You got to know that
before.
one guy pretty close and personal.
Well, yeah, he wanted to start something, but I'm not that kind of guy.
So you live in a much better place now?
Much better, as a matter of fact. It worked out for the best.
You don't miss him?
Terribly.
Okay, Kurt, here's the thing. The landlord is not allowed to keep the security deposit unless there is a breach of the lease, damage to the apartment, or back rent owed. And that will do it for this case. Litigants, for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.